Hello, everybody. It's Monday night. It's the Plastic Crack Podcast, and it's warm. It's warm.
Let's just get it out there right now.
Get it out there right now. It's warm and it's moist and it's all those other kind of words, and it's deeply unpleasant. So yes, and then there was two. So just Dom and I tonight. Martin is away in Cornwall.
Well, 1.5 actually. I think probably tonight. But there you go.
Oh yes, Dom is suffering at the moment. So
not that I want any sympathy or anything, but it's
No.
either a very heavy cold or my daughter's giving me COVID. But it's okay because I've got medicine. So it's
medicine. That's what we like, a bit of medicine. So yes, it's Monday night, season 5, episode 25 of the Plastic Crack Podcast, with me, Steve from HQ, and Dom from Boots on the Table. So aside from the lurg, how have you been? It's been 2 weeks since we last been on.
I know it's a bit scary, isn't it? We just have been really slack this year. I think we should get real trouble. I've been good actually. Yeah, I've done a fair bit of painting, done a little bit of gaming. Those who've seen my little update I did at the weekend was I played a few games, but none of them have really been worthy of actually showing videos of. So, but we played how good is Dead Man's Hand?
It's a good game.
What a good game that is. We had a game down the club the other night because we were up so without boring everybody, but every so often we have to go upstairs into little rooms because they use them down the big rooms. We play sort of a games where you can, all sit around a table easy. So Dead Man's Hands are brilliant for that. And poor old Tony he must have spent about 4 days working out an amazing scenario and ideas about different gangs doing different things. We all had different missions to do. Of course, what do you get when you get 5 or 6 gamers around a table playing an evening game and being told that they need to, behave doing some sort of rules? It just never happened. So everyone started shooting everyone from virtually turn 2. Which is the fun of it, right?
That is the fun of it. And
I did feel for Tony.
Any Western game needs something like that.
Exactly. But yeah, it was good fun. So yeah, played that. Played a bit of General Dame 2. Played a solo game here. So it's been good. And done a fair bit of painting. And you may see over that shoulder, a bloody big box arrived today.
Yes, I see people have been taking delivery of their Hannibal boxes. I don't mean the A-Team. So they've obviously been very, very busy over at Warlord HQ getting those dispatched.
What about your good self? You've been busy?
Yeah. The weird thing is I've not finished much. I've got loads of stuff. I've got loads of stuff on the table. So I've got Epic ACW. I've got Landscanet. I've got Oathmark. I'm working on some Oathmark human infantry.
Nice.
I'm doing some scale modelling at 1/35th scale. I've got more War Games Atlantic Night. It's a fair and a bit of 20 mil World War II as well. So I've finished some, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah,
you're very welcome, Payden. He says thanks for the heads up on the shield transfers. Yeah, we talked about them here. I think those really nice ones from. What is it? Carthage Must Be Destroyed, which is the name of a channel I do not agree with because I like Carthage, but he does do good transfers.
They look fantastic. Like I said, what I like about them is they're not quite historical, not quite. I mean, they may be historical, but they could also definitely be used for fantasy. As well.
Without a doubt. Yeah,
so that's something that I'm going to be looking into because I'm probably going to run out of my bolt action decals for doing mine. So needs must. Okay,
the 5th SS medieval warrior unit. I love it. Yeah,
it's the next Ridley Scott film. As always, the Plastic Crack Podcast is proudly sponsored by the chaps over at Boards and Swords Hobbies. Go to the web store, and when you're checking out, use the code PCP5. And this will get you a 5% discount on an already discounted order. If you can't find anything, drop Ian a message, and I'm pretty sure he can find it for you. As always, like, share, subscribe. The millennial
YouTube,
all the YouTube and millennial stuff that really sticks in my craw. It really does. So tonight we're having, because it's only 2 of us, have a bit of a light-hearted night tonight. So what we're going to be looking at is your hobbies, do's and don'ts. Do you base tanks?
Yes.
Have you got a vast collection of round die like Ken?
Well, I've got a couple.
I haven't got any. I've never owned a round dice in my life, ever.
The deep regrets I have of CrackCon, the year when Ken was supposed to be running a game and he was ill.
Oh, yeah.
I had my round dice and I was just going to walk up and just roll it down the table. Because
I'll tell you what, if you'd have done that, you'd probably left the building walking funny.
It would be very funny.
So, yeah, just going to be talking about do's and don'ts. What do you do? What don't you do? Nothing serious, just a bit of light-hearted fun on a warm, moist Monday evening. Nice. Right, let's see who was decided to join us tonight. We've got Ham and Jam. He is priming some Sash and Saber American Civil War. Did you say in your video you settled for black powder for your 28mm ACW?
I'm thinking so. I think so, just because it plays quickly in the club evening. But I do also like Pickett's Charge rules. Yeah. I think they're a really good rule set as well. So, and I may yet base a few singly to do sharp practice with, because I like the games Travis has been doing on that. Although it does look brutal. Because the ranges are just like enormous for that. So I don't know, but yeah, it'll probably be one of those three. Well, probably all three, to be fair.
And you made one or two purchases towards your
I just, are you going to keep topping it up? I was worried for a minute. The cabin was looking a bit empty, so I thought I'd buy a few more.
Yeah, looking a bit empty. And it's 29 in sunny Sheffield.
Oof. Wow.
You, us northern types are not used to such temperatures. We're really not. And Hammer Jam is moist. Don, it's 32 and raining on the shores of the Great Lake. Working on his OPC entry for the month. Dothraki Outriders. Is that some Lord of the Rings that I don't get? John Sowerby, as in 32. Oh, God, 32 in Miami. Ooh. Trevor Hodgkins, sunny, warm Suffolk.
Nice.
9999 pardon. Good evening. Gotta get the numbers right. Laser Pirate Painting, Rogue Trooper. Rich John. So Rich is painting dwarf miners for Age of Fantasy.
Don't you have to say
dwarfs? Pause my bolt action stuff until version 3 lands. Yes, I'm the same.
So I'm interested about that. Are people stopping? Because I've seen this a few times from people. Why pause a bolt action project? Is it purely because you don't know what the composition?
I don't know what the points are, because you know me, I'm a bit OCD.
For you build it to a points rather than just build points.
But a lot of people have said we haven't seen composition of units, so I don't want to get involved. Do something, and when version 3 comes out, find it's completely unplayable. But no, I think a lot of people have done that. Although with the intelligence report that dropped last week about shooting and cover saves, I'm looking forward to this version. I think it's going to be a better version. It's going to be a bit more realism, having dropped range modifiers and things like that. I think it's going to be a good game. Cool. Charizette, evening everyone. Andrew JF from warm Kent. Matt from Wargaming History. It's a very warm Western France, 31 degrees. He's working on some vending artillery and limbers, base and Bavarian guns. Australia. That's a fair amount on your desk there, Matt. That's a lot on your desk.
Just a quiet evening for him then.
Oh, just a quiet evening, yeah. Adam Kirtley, Grana Prego, Johnny Clark, John, okay, mate. Benjamin Christensen. So Benjamin is getting the last stuff ready for his Flames of War tournament next weekend.
Nice.
Good luck, Benjamin. Hope you have a great time there. Andy, summer has arrived in Worcester. It's arrived everywhere by the sounds of things.
Pretty much everywhere, yeah.
Walkabout Games, weathering a ton of scenery. Steve Harbour, Steve's not far from me, and it's been mightily warm here today. It really has. Steve's painting Bavarian cavalry tonight. Rogue Trooper Carl Burks. Some civilians with Dead Man's Hand on the table tonight.
Good job.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to say, the game we played, Tony had done an amazing job with all the civilians. He'd also done the inside of the buildings. Oh, just lost Steve. They did the inside of the buildings. It was really, really good. He'd done an amazing job, so they look really cool. I don't know where Steve's gone. Steve, your camera's died, mate.
I am here. I wonder what.
We've got a picture of me, Ken, and Martin. Don't know why. There you go.
Tell you what, I'm gonna scoot out and come back in. All right.
All right, no worries. I'll keep going. Well, there you go. So we're down to one. Well, half now, actually. No. It looks like your camera's still buggered, mate. Oh dear. Oh dear. He's pressed a button. Must be the moisture up in the north of England. He's really not used to it at all. The moisture has got to him. Turn it on and off again. That's what they did on the internet the other day. I'll keep going then. So, what have we got? I don't know where we got to, so I'll carry on where we were. We have Nathan says, evening all, painting French 100-year war troops in a sunny and warm South Wales. Very nice. Everyone's getting very excited at 100 Years War. Is that because of the saga thing supposed to be coming out, or is that because of God, what was it called? I can't remember what the rule set was. I'm COVID-ized, so I don't know what's going on. My brain is addled. Ian Wright says, good evening from an excessively warm East Midlands. Very nice. Kevin says, evening, everybody. Old school FRP says, got to get home from the grocery store and get to work on terrain. Yeah, come on. You need to get on with it, mate. No mucking around. How come you're streaming us in the grocery store? How does that work? I don't know. Mark says, good evening, everybody, from a sunny and hot Buckinghamshire. Very nice. Freebie Vikings says, or Furby, yeah. It says evening. Wasn't worth it for that. Lionheart says evening all. Old school FRP says moist, but he spelt it wrong, so it must be very moist. His typing fingers have gone up the spout. Carl says it's hot as hell in here. It is in here. I've got all the windows open, so apologies if it's a bit noisy, but it is very, very moist. Oh, very nice. Don says, yeah, it's just, but it is the two good ones. I don't know. Some would question that one, and down to one half a good one at the moment. In that case, Dave says hello from a sunny Norfolk. Andrew, yeah, it is medicine. It's keeping me going. We should put it into Steve's camera. I think that's probably what he needed just to solve that problem. I have to drink this, otherwise, if I don't, I'll start coughing. This is really not a good thing at all on the street. Oh, he's back. Look at that. He's back.
Can you hear me?
I can as well. I should have said no, and that would have been very...
What the hell happened there?
I think the moisture got into your camera.
That was the weirdest thing. No, it was saying everything was disconnected, and I had to disconnect everything to come back in. Clearly not. I blame the weather.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're just not used to it up there. That's the trouble. Oh dear, it's really not going well. I was down where I got to. So I got David saying, "Evening, folks. Unreasonably hot Peak District. A bit hot for gingers. Gingers. I read it as gingers anyway.
Speaking of which, we've got a bit of news about a certain friend of ours, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly. We'll get to the end of these though.
Yeah.
Who we got? I'm trying to get down to. Let's
Dr.
start.
Joseph, good day all. It's not a day, it's evening, mate. Come on, get yourself sorted out. Shakers and Sprue says, "Hey up, folks from a far too warm Yorkshire."
Yeah, I get that.
You don't do warm up there, do you? No. Paul says he's not doing any painting. It's far too moist.
Moist Mercia.
Moist Mercia. That sounds like a thing. Carl says Dead Man's Hand dropping game all day at CrackCon. Yep, we are. He's running one. I'm looking forward to that. That's always a good thing to do. You just want to have a bit of a laugh and shoot Martin because he's rubbish and he runs out into the road. Do that because that's brilliant fun. Kevin says painting Barren Wars villagers and lots of elves tonight. That's a mixture. I like that. Okay. Roger says working on Dead Man's Hand signage for the buildings. Lovely. I have to say, when they're done well, those buildings look absolutely awesome, especially if you put signage on. Yeah.
They look very nice. Very, very, very nice.
I think before you left us, I was saying Tony actually did all the inside. So he had he had an Undertaker's shop, and he actually had all the.
That sounds so cool.
All the coffins all lined up, and then somebody laying out a corpse. It was just brilliant, really well done. Shame we just shot everybody in the road, so we never actually went into any buildings. But never mind, it looked really good. Old School says painting fantasy barn from White Dwarf 140.
My
1991.
God.
Actually, a good historical barn for 18th century to modern. Do you remember that one?
What year was that?
1991, he says.
It depends because I got. Oh, yes, I do remember. I think I do remember the. No, I'm thinking of the tavern. It was a couple of years later. They had a cardboard tavern in there.
Wasn't that a year you were writing for them and doing stuff? Or did you? No, you didn't do White. I didn't
write
Dwarf,
for.
Did you?
No.
Sorry, start that rumor off. What else we got? I can't even pronounce that name, but he's doing painting some 28mm Swiss, same as in hundreds. Same as in hundreds. What does that mean?
Some as in hundreds. He's painted hundreds of Swiss.
I see. He's painted. Right. Sorry. Got you. I'd say COVID. I'm just going to blame COVID for my stupidity.
Yes.
Normally it's just stupidity, but tonight it's COVID. Glendor says, hobby do paint as many drummers as pictures. Hobby don't ever stop listening to the Smiths. Do you want to give him a yellow card?
No, I'll put it down to the heat.
Paul says, what do I do? Start loads of projects. What do I don't? Finish them. Yep.
That's true,
I think we're all there. Oh, Dermot, he's breaking the trend. Look at this. In Derry, and it's raining again.
Oh, really?
Bliss. What the heck is going on?
It rained here on Saturday for about 47 seconds. And we've not had rain since, and it's just unfathomably uncomfortable.
Steve's here, basement 1908. Hello, mate. Good to see you.
Steve.
He's probably going to upscale anything we do. I mean, he's probably seeing about 20 of us rather than just 2, the way he goes about his hobbying. Gee, man, you're insane. It's like did you see his video? He did an update video, and it's like most of it just do a unit of cavalry. And I think I'm doing pretty well, but he'd done like 70 of them. It was like, for goodness sake.
Yeah, if I was to paint 3, I'd call that a success. 103, no, it's not. Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
Oh dear. Louis says it's comfortable in Newton Abbey, painting some 3D printed WSS French. Nice. John asks, how many explosions did the cover save announcement provoke in the Broad Action forum? We were just discussing that forum just a minute ago before we came on air.
It was interesting.
It's very exciting in that forum when they're talking about the new rules, I'm sure. Love it. Sven, Red Sven is building Moonstone. I still like the look of that.
I love those figures. They're full of character. They look so good.
Do. Lanchnik 1525 says hi from Arizona. It's probably as hot in here as it is in Arizona. It's probably
wouldn't surprise me.
Robin's here. He's doing 10mm Panthers.
Oh,
very nice. Shouldn't you be doing some more Hail Caesar? I mean, come on. Martin probably wants another battle, and he needs you to finish his armies for him, so you can then kill them. Rich M, evening all on holiday in Wales and no rain. Good grief!
Blimey.
Mark that one in your calendar. Go to Wales and there's no rain. Benjamin says this has to be the most screen time Ken has had on the show this year. I like it. Very nice indeed. What else we got? Oh my goodness. I can't see. I've lost. Help me, Steve. I've lost.
Right, I've got so Daniel Moreno here. Hello all. Oh, speak of the round dice gamer himself.
Ah, there he is. Good.
Yeah, Ken. Hope
you're doing
well,
to show up.
Dave, Roger Chrysler, and I think we're to Battle Matt. Hello, Matt. Again. Matt's here, and Nick Games, and we're at the bottom. So yes, there we are. Thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. despite how unprofessional that actually was, due to some slight technical problems.
They don't come here for professionalism, for God's sake.
It's just as
they're in the
bloody well
wrong
they don't,
place.
because they're not going to get it round here. Yes, we've had word from the front that our very own Ken is looking to be back on the podcast at the end of August.
I should have put his mask on for this, shouldn't I? Really? Yeah.
Mine's stuck on my wall there. So Ken will be hopefully be back. At the end of August, and we'll have a full complement of people again.
And by then, he might have actually worked out what his channel's called.
I can't remember.
He can't remember, so we haven't got a chance, have we? But it'd be nice to have the old Git back.
Yes,
I think he's lying in bed with food poisoning at the moment. Which I always thought was the wrong place to lie if you've got food poisoning, but there you go. Surely you lie in the bathroom, don't you?
But if you're watching, Ken, I hope you're doing well, mate. No, food poisoning is never a pleasant experience. And don't go looking at the amount of Scotch eggs that are currently on the Facebook group, because that's the last thing you want to be looking at if you've got a dose of the old food poisoning.
Elaine gave me such an odd look when I took a photograph of my Scotch egg that I bought the other day.
Yeah, not many people go around taking photographs of Scotch eggs. I know. I was just as I was saying that since we've been talking about the past 2 weeks, I've craved a Scotch egg for weeks.
That's it. I went into the shop and I saw them there, and I thought, because of that discussion, I thought, I've just got to have one. I'm so desperate for it.
I've not had one for ages. Scotch egg and a nice bit of sort of caramelized red onion chutney.
Now you're talking.
That's the combination that you want. Did Ken get his money back? He can get his money back all the time.
Doesn't matter what he does, he gets his money back.
He last spent money about 3.5 years ago.
Do you know, every time someone puts it, I follow a few of these marketplace, Facebook pages, and every time somebody puts a thing up about, I'm looking to sell this, first comment in there is from Ken. Every single time. Doesn't matter what. And then he was commenting on somebody trying to sell a 28mm Ottoman Napoleonic army today. It's like, why? So no interest in that whatsoever. But it's like, because if it's a decent deal, he'll pick it up and then flog it on.
Which is what he does. But before he goes to pick it up, he'll actually borrow a car for a couple of days to test drive to go and pick up an army he's going to flog miniature 3D walking.
We'll show that one to Andrew and see whether he agrees. I think he still won't know where his channel is, let alone what the passwords are. But we could call it that.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to him being back, though. It's occasionally absent wargaming with 3D.
Yeah, it's going to be great to have him back. Actually, the old Git. He has been doing a few bits and bobs, and I think he's.
Well, he managed to buy a book and send it to me.
I couldn't believe that. That was so funny.
Yes. So
anyway,
yes, but he actually got that today. So I've actually got a copy of the same book myself. So it's a good book, Ken. You'll enjoy it. Right, moving away from the postal service and Scotch eggs and a thriving Scotch eggs photography.
Probably a very specialist site.
That's a specialist site. Yeah, very, very specialist. So, Dom, you mentioned you've been painting. What have you been up to?
Well, funny you should ask me, because I have a few pictures here. Let me show you. I've been. I didn't do much over the weekend, mainly because of this, really.
Yeah.
But before that, I did finish off. Where are they? Oh yeah. These are some 15mm Frenchies to get cut down by any kind of British that happen to be around.
What make are they?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I can't remember. I think they were alternate armies, I think is what they're called. I picked them up a while ago. They are actually surprisingly good for the scale, 15mm. And the reason I picked them up was purely on the basis of the fact they're wearing greatcoats. I just thought they're going to be so easy to paint, so quick to paint, that I will get them like that. And actually, when I got them, I thought, do you know what? They're not half bad. So
surprised. They're really good.
Yeah, they're nice, and they painted up pretty well. And I think even with my average paint job, I think they'll do fine. So I've done them as a sort of voltigeur battalion, Although they got a flag. I'm not sure voltigeurs carry a flag, but
Can
whatever.
Can I just say, I knew they were voltigeurs.
Did you? Good man.
The things on their hat and their epaulets.
You did right.
See, I know some things.
Something's rubbing off on you around here, mate. What can I say? I love it. I love it to bits. And there's 2 drummers just for you.
Oh,
just so you like to know.
Let the side down.
There's 24 of them. There'll probably actually be 2 units of 12 because when we're playing General Dame in 15 mil, generally three bases is a sort of standard unit also. So anyway, that's them. That was quite fun. Enjoyed doing them. They came out well. So and also I thought it was about time I did some severed heads to make up for the fact that I hadn't done any for a while. So I did some mad barbarian-y types, Celtic fanatics.
Are they in the nip?
They are completely in the buff. Yeah, they are completely in the buff. Probably, again, as Martin would say, people will moan that they're not authentic because they never actually ran around swinging their todgers everywhere. But they're nice models. I quite enjoy doing it. So this is a mixture of Warlord metals and Crusader metals, mainly because my lovely youngest daughter bought me some for Christmas. But there weren't quite enough to make up a unit. So I had to buy a few more from Warlords just to make up the numbers. And I think they're quite good. I like them. There you go. There's the severed head. There's 2 in that unit, actually, just to make up for the fact I didn't put one in the last unit because I knew you were disappointed in me. So, yeah. And there is full Todger on display. So there you go. So
I can imagine that contravenes so many health and safety rules right there.
It's historical. You can't contravene. It's all fine. I mean, health and safety would probably have words with you, but hey. So there you go. That's what I've been up to, which was fun. So tonight I'm working on. I'm actually trying to assemble some of these American Civil War figures. So
they're the Perry's ones.
The Perry ones. What I bought the other day. So yeah. What about you? What have you been up to, mate?
Before that, we've had an update. So apparently those French are chariot miniatures from Magister Militum. You
could well be right, Ian. It's entirely possible. As people will know, I buy figures from all over the place when I see them. And they sit in a pile for a bit, and then I forget exactly what. Unless they handily, like these ones, the Magisterium Militarium, have got it written on them. So even a fool like me realizes what they're from. But otherwise, I have no idea. So you're probably right.
So Robin said if Ken sent me a book, it's probably part of an elaborate postal stamp. So what it was, he actually very, very kindly sent me a DVD through the post. He finally got me to watch that Fortress film that I've never seen before. But he forgot to change the address back when he bought something else. So I ended up with his book.
Nice.
I'll probably have the postal service kicking my front door down soon. Are these the ones? Oh,
not just great coats, they're fabulous coats. Very nice, thank you. Sorry, I jumped in there.
Yeah, no, it's not fake Steve. I do have a small, having painted a very, very small amount of French. I did recognise the voltigeurs because they're the ones Ken shouted at me for, because I had 3 left and never painted them, and then promptly turned them into Turnip 28.
Yeah. He probably knows all about them because he's used to ripping their bloody heads off and shoving turnips on them.
Well, I was butchering some Perry's Afghan warriors. Last week. That was that kit bash didn't quite turn out the way that I wanted it to, but it was good. It was good.
Probably not for the Afghans either, to be fair.
Not for them, no, because I chopped their feet off. Yeah, more than likely, Alex. All this talk of Todgers and health and safety and broccoli of all things from Steve. Are these the ones that like they're hiding something using broccoli? Just don't paint it green or you might end up in a clinic.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So what have I can say I've been working on a lot, but I've not actually finished much. What I did finish though was it's not uploaded.
Oh no.
Oh, it's uploaded one of them. So I worked on some more 20 mil AB miniatures. So these arrived the other week. These are just lovely, really lovely. 20 mil is such a nice scale. It's just a really enjoyable scale to paint, and they're really detailed, crisp sculpts as well for me. So I've got 5 more of those to paint and some
mate.
HQs. And yeah, I actually painted up some Plastic Soldier Company ones as well, but the photo hasn't uploaded. But I was just doing a bit of a comparison. You can't really tell. The Plastic Soldier Company ones are ever so slightly on the chunky side, not massively. But once they're mixed together, you can't really tell. Yes, AB definitely for the win, Roger. They're brilliant. They are just lovely figures.
They are really, really nice detail for 20 mil.
I know.
For any scale, they're good.
Because I really enjoyed painting the British infantry last year, and then I picked these up the other week. Absolutely brilliant. And then we were talking about them earlier. I picked up some more. I was painting more of the War Games Atlantic Foot Knights. I did 5 more.
Lovely.
So again, more dodgy shields there. And actually, to be fair, I think they work quite well. Those decals on those shields.
They do. They do.
And they're all battered and weathered up, so no one's going to really notice. But that means I've finished 10 of them now. So there's the
awesome.
There's the gang all together. Again, they're just such lovely figures to put together, and they paint up really well. There's loads and loads of options on the sprue. There's so many different combinations you can put together. But yeah, they were really good. So I've got some more of those ready to go. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, on the desk at the moment, I've got Oathmark. I've got more Landsknecks. I've started painting some more Epic ACW Confederates. I've got some more Rubicon USMC. I've got those core that I haven't even started yet. There's just a lot going on.
Variety is definitely the spice of life where you're concerned at the moment.
Well, yeah, because I'm just not getting anything. It's good working on different things, and a foray into 135th as well, which is order of the top. Absolutely. But yeah,
what are you going to use those knights for? I know you did say, but I've forgotten.
Initially, they're going to be Warlords of Erewhon, and I'm still going to do them for Warlords of Erewhon because I've got a Knights Warband, but I've never actually found any knights that I was happy with that had that sort of not overly fantasy look, but still like knights. And these are perfect. And having seen the rest of what's being released in that range, I will. And James is right. You're giving Baron. I think I am going to give Baron's War a go. Having seen, like I said, the follow-up releases, and also Paul confirmed that the 5th box is mounted sergeants.
Yes,
it's brilliant. I mean, if the rest of the kits are anything like those ones, I'm going to be an extremely happy chap. But yeah, Baron's War will definitely be.
I'm slightly annoyed because I considered my Bruce's in Ireland project to pretty much finished, as much as any project can have finished. But I'm suddenly thinking, I think I need a few more mounted sergeants, and I need a few more knights, and I need, so for God's sake, here we go.
Well, I mean, those foot knights, they seem to come from nowhere, didn't they?
Yeah, I didn't see them coming at all.
There they are, and then I think the next one I think is it's the peasants, isn't it?
Peasants next. I'm not so bothered about those. I might still get. Actually, I might well get a box of those.
I'm going to get some of those. I can use peasants in my Era 1 warband. Then it's the mounted.
That's right. The mounted sergeants, is it?
Yeah.
Or no? Is it the knights first or I don't know. What? Yeah.
I think it's the knights, the mounted knights first. But
that's right.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely cracking range, and again, just from absolute nowhere. And I'm going to go out on a limb, but that's my favourite kit of the year so far. I just think it's so good, and I've really enjoyed working on them. Just so nice. I never thought I'd see I was painting that many nights. Yeah, I know, Matt. Matt's a big fan of Baron's War. Probably he's tiny bit of a new edition now.
Yeah, I mean, it does look a fun game. I think my problem at the moment is just getting the squad at the club to play something different. Again, another one when I keep trying to convince everyone we should stick to 1 or 2 periods. But they do look fun. I've watched a few games online, and I think it does look fun. But I think it probably works best as I'm not sure it works as well as a solo game. which is the only way I could possibly play it. So I think it looks like it's one of those ones, because most skirmish games don't work terribly well as a solo, do they? You have to have an opponent, but yeah, it does look fun.
But yeah, that whole range is just looking so nice. Really looking for, and again, they're suitable for both historical and fantasy. Which is what I'll be doing a Warlords of Era one.
Yeah, nice.
It's going to be good, and I'm also looking for the NAM 68 coming out as well. Yes, that's going to be
Holy
good. I'm looking forward to that. Some more Rubicon. Actually, Dom, I was thinking about you the other day. I was just building some more Rubicon Marines, and this arm comes in 2 pieces.
Oh, for fudge's sake! 2 arms. What is the point? I mean, 2 point. Oh God.
Yeah.
The only way it should be like that is when you smacked it with one of your big axes and it's got 2 bits to it. That's the only way.
The thing is, though, they do go together really well. I can certainly recommend that kit. Right, on to what we're talking about tonight, which is hobbies, do's and don'ts. Bit of fun. So, Dom, with you, you're quite a Renaissance man when it comes to gaming.
Okay. Wonder where that was going. Yeah, go on.
So, what would you say? Just what one of your do's and one of your don'ts of the hobby? What if you had to impart your hobby values upon someone sort of new to the hobby? What would you say?
Number 1, dive full pelt into a project. Get the whole frigging thing. Go right in, build it all, buy it all, because only that way you're ever going to force yourself to do it. Is that slightly sarcastic? It's slightly sarcastic. No, I think dive into a project is my genuine feel. Is don't worry, don't sit back and think, should I? If you really fancy doing it, do it. Just go for it. And if nothing else, do it as a solo project or a modeling project or a whatever. But if you've always fancied doing Guatemalan poppy walls or something, whatever your thing is, knock yourself out and do it. Go and give it a go. I think there's no reason why you shouldn't. And there's so many good figures out there. Don't be held back by the fact that maybe people go, I'm not sure about that. Because I have to say, genuinely, I've been surprised how many times I've played games with people and they've said, not sure I really. And they once you play it, they kind of go, that was actually quite fun. I really quite enjoyed that. So, it may mean you have to do it all yourself, but that's fine. I think that's fine. So do that. But I think you can do it in staged approach. So don't have to do. When I say dive straight in, you don't have to. So if you're building for a black powder army, for instance, one of my things I know well, start doing something more at a smaller scale. So maybe start doing a sharp practice or muskets and tomahawks or whatever else, something smaller scale battle where you can build up a reasonable force, get them on the table, get used to using them, and then expand the armory out to make it into a bigger force. I think that's always a good way to go about it. Yeah.
So it's sort of immerse yourself in the project then, really.
I think so.
Really
that works for me. Read books about it, look at videos about it, look into the rules that you're planning to look at. Really absorb yourself into it.
Like I said before, if anyone needs to see the definition of throwing yourself into a project, check out Dom's Bruce's in Ireland videos, because that.
I did throw myself into that one a bit. Yeah, it's true. That is a real case in point. But I mean, that actually genuinely is a case in point because, I know that people will probably play that down the club because it's just Hail Caesar, right? I've adapted the rules a bit like Martin did with for the Wars of the Roses, but it's basically Hail Caesar. But I just fancied doing it, so it was just one of those projects that just came about just because.
Didn't we come to watch a video? Yeah, watched a video about it.
I watched a video, a historical. It wasn't even a wargaming video. It was a historical video, and it was one of those like I didn't know that happened. And then you start researching it. So I knew obviously about the Battle of Bannockburn and all the wars against the English and the Scots in that period, but I had no idea Scots had invaded Ireland. So that was it started. So
that was a new. But again, that is a good example though of not doing something piecemeal or half-arsed. It was just basically
full in,
do your research, buy the books.
But I think having that perspective, so in that I knew I wanted to do reasonable size Hail Caesar battles. So I knew that I was going to need a ton of figures. I knew that I was going to need certain unit types. And it was kind of, I don't know about you. Well, I think you're a bit the same. I think all gamers are to some degree. It's almost that collection. It's that sort of wanting to get to think about, well, how do I build this unit? Where do the figures that work for this come best? So it's for that period, particularly because there isn't really any figures that cover it specifically. There's ones that cover the sort of Bannockburn period. There's lots of medievals that follow the following periods. It's very little Irish for that period. So then you start researching it and you think, well, actually, those Irish look exactly the same as the Dark Age Irish, and probably the same as the Renaissance ones. So actually, you can start, so it becomes kind of a quite a satisfying project in its own right. So yeah, that was definitely the case with that project.
So conversely, what's one of your don'ts that you
don't buy Rubicon because they have freaking two arms, two bits of their arm. No, I think when I say don't do's, don't be put off. I think that's the thing I would say. If you want to do it and you've got the time and the money to do it, then knock yourself out. Don't be persuaded. I mean, again, I think we've all been at clubs or had mates who kind of go, I don't really want to do that. And you go, okay, all right, I won't do it. And really, really wanted to do it. And you get persuaded not to. And maybe that's just the wisdom of age that you just think, screw them, I'm going to do it anyway. But I would say if you fancy doing it, go for it. Just do it.
Without putting profanity on the channel. Isn't that one of Yorkshire Ken's?
It is.
Wargaming rules.
It is.
Just effing do it. I can certainly see why. Because you can procrastinate a bit too much before, painting. Or I mean, how many times? I don't know whether I apply to you because you're a bit of a monster when it comes to painting. Have you bought something and you've been a bit intimidated about painting it?
Oh, regularly. Regularly. But again, I think one of the other things I always say with any kind of model or project or anything else is make sure you're in the right mood for it, right? So sometimes you've done this and you talked about this a lot, is when you build like your Huey, for instance, you were desperate to do that. You really wanted to build it. And when you started, it was like your head wasn't in it. You didn't really want to do it. And then you hid a piece so you couldn't finish it and all this kind of stuff to get out and finish it. But, so don't be afraid to put it aside and go, what, I'll come back to it. Because, the good thing about our hobby, the metal and plastic and resin figures, unless you do some extraordinary things to them, don't decay. They'll sit there quite a long time in a box or a cupboard or a shelf or even a loft and not actually get destroyed. So, just look at all the old figures that people are painting up as well that date back to the 60s and 70s, for goodness sake. They don't go away. So, don't be afraid to park them for a bit and come back to it when you're ready. Maybe don't wait from 30 odd years for it. That might not be the best approach, but well, if it's the way, but whatever. So I think that's. What about you then, mate?
I think, Matt, if I had to say one of my do's, it would be just do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Paint what you want, collect what you want, paint it how you want to paint it as well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, especially with the advent of Facebook groups or Reddit or other social media, I think some people are a bit hesitant about going off and doing their own thing, and you don't want to be posting things that just doesn't want historical accuracy. Just do what you want. Just that's what I would say. It's your hobby. You get from it what you want to get from it. I think that's a bit. I mean, that for me, that's since over the past 2 years, that's been one thing I've just said to myself is just paint what I want to paint.
Do you think? I mean, there's been a lot of benefits from the whole internet and YouTube explosion of the hobby and what have you. I think more benefits than anything else. But do you think sometimes that actually can be a little bit off-putting? You know, people who go in and think, "Oh, I wonder how I should paint my, I don't know, ogre Landschnecks. I'll look up that on YouTube," and then some whatever they're called, paintbrush winner, golden paintbrush winner, is painting a thing that you could never ever reproduce in a month of Sundays. Does that put people off?
Well, that would be my don't. It would be don't compare your own work to others.
Yes.
Everybody's got their own way of painting or modeling or hobbying. And like I've said many times in the past, if you're putting paint on a figure, you're already ahead of a lot of people in the hobby.
It's true.
And just don't compare your work to other people. So I went through a phase when I first started getting to bolt action, sort of 2014, 2015. And I hadn't painted World War II 28mm for ages, and I was constantly comparing what I was painting to what other people were posting on, like, Facebook groups or online forums. And it took me a while to sort of step away from that, to just think, well, no, these are my figures. I'm going to paint them. I'd like them to look like.
You can aspire to that. But...
Yeah, I mean, back when I got into bolt action, it was when I first discovered the work that Andy Zek was doing, and I was just blown away by what he was doing with Warlord Plastics. And I tried not to compare what I was doing to Andy's, because his work was just phenomenal. He just had such a unique style that I could never ever I could never get it to look like Andy's. I really couldn't. I mean, I wouldn't want to, because his style was just so unique and just just fantastic work. But again, it was difficult not to compare what I was doing to other people's. And the same goes now. I mean, I go on Twitter and look at painted miniatures, and I just see stuff, and I just think I could sit down at this desk from now until I'm 90 and just paint every single day, and I would never ever get to any levels like that, because and fair play. I mean, if that's the level you aspire to, go for it. But I think comparing yourself, all you're going to do is hold yourself back. It's just you're not going to progress by comparing.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I mean, back years now, I'm talking early 90s when I first got into the hobby. Again, I had a mate, Ian, and he was a phenomenal painter, and he had a dark elf army, and he had this awesome inquisitorial space marine army from Rogue Trader, and they were brilliant. And I just loved his figures. I just loved seeing them, but I was constantly comparing myself to his work, and and it took a while again to move away from that and say, no, you've got to carve your own path. You've got to it's about establishing your own way of work. I love it now when people say to me they can recognize something that I've painted or something that I've based. I think that's phenomenal that someone can do that. Like I say, I'm not a massively great painter, but the fact that people can recognize work that I actually do, I think that in itself is, and I would hope that no one would compare themselves to my work either. just again, it's about plowing your own path.
I don't think you should ever compare yourself to what other people are doing, but you should take ideas and a little bit of inspiration from them. That's a whole different discussion. So you can look at what Steve and others are doing and go, well, you know what, I like that, and I'm going to take that little bit there that they do, and I'm going to use that bit that such and such uses, and I'm not going to do anything Dom does because it's bloody cack-handed, but I'm going to, and they'll build it all together, and I think that's the way to do it, right? That's, and then you find your own way.
I think finding that own way, once you're at a place where you're happy, I think that's the main thing. I mean, now I still think that I peaked painting wise years ago. I think when I was probably in my sort of late 20s, probably. I mean, I'm still painting, the same way, but I think I reached a point where I think and I'm happy that I'm at that level.
Yeah.
I've been painting for 30 odd years. So you'd like to hope so. But again, it can be counterproductive if you're, like I say, if I'm spending a lot of time on Instagram or Twitter and you're just seeing these supremely painted models. And I imagine it can be, especially if you're sort of new to the hobby. And I think Martin mentioned the week about these. You feel you've got to go out and get an airbrush. You've got to go and buy the expensive brushes. You've got to go and buy it, and you don't. And I think again that can be the intimidating part. I think actually just getting the basics down. But again, going back to the do's, it's just do what you want. Do what, and don't compare your work to others.
Agreed. Yeah.
I've just seen a comment from Matt that where's it gone?
Read lots of comments. We are starring them, so we'll try and get back to them in a bit.
I think it was like, and another one would be, don't think you know everything.
Yeah.
And if you are well versed on a specific subject or period or conflict, and you feel like imparting your advice upon us mortals, do it in a nice way.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I mean, nobody likes to be called an idiot, especially in a video or on a Facebook page. So yes, be nice about it. But as Paul says, also,
absolutely,
to ask.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, I think the beauty of certainly our community, and if you're not a member of the Facebook page, why not join up, do all that good stuff. But hopefully the advantage of that is that you can ask those daft questions that maybe in some of the groups you might be a little bit afraid of asking. But I think find those places where you can get the advice you need. None of us are perfect.
No, again, it is. Don't be afraid to ask anyone anything. And again, it's that not. It's hard to explain. That sounds like a complete arse. But again, it's the don't flex will be the way that I'd say it. Don't flex. Don't flex on people if you know more than them. And they've posted something or shown something that may not be historically inaccurate.
Yep.
One, do you really need to tell them? And if you do, tell them in a nice way. Don't get out the size 12 Doc Martens and stomp all over them because it's just it's not a nice way of being, really, is it?
No.
And having been on the receiving end of that a few times, not so much recently. On the old Flames of War forums back in sort of the mid 2000s, I think most people used to get a lot of crap on there because you didn't paint something that was massively historic. Some guy once pulled me up on there because my 15mm P dot camouflage wasn't accurate at 15mm.
Yeah, right.
Well, you should say that, Jonas. We're sponsored by Boards and Swords and Derby. PCP5, 5% off your order at the checkout. But no, again, and that always stuck with me. Yeah, isn't it? Do you know what I think is quite sad is that I always remember the negative, not the positive. So if someone has complimented me on something, you tend to forget that. But when
it's human nature.
It is
human nature. We take on board the negative much more than we take on board the positive, and that's where you got to be very careful when you are negative about things with people. And there's no need to say, you know what, you've got that completely wrong. You can just say, well, yeah, lovely, like that. If you want some advice on, on your next unit, shout. Yep. I'm happy to give it. Whatever. It doesn't need to be bad. What do you reckon to Andrew's point? I'm sort of mixed on this one. Do take part in friendly painting competitions like the OPC or the friendly local store ones, as it gets you to do something you might not otherwise do. It's a good experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if we had a local game store around here, I'd certainly.
True, yeah.
I'd certainly take part in it. But no, it's getting you to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do. It's like with this 135th thing I'm working on. I mean, I don't know why, but I did mention the other week. I said, eventually I wanted to, step outside my comfort zone and do something a bit bigger. And you know what? I'm really enjoying it. I've put 3 or 4 hours into it so far, and it's enjoyable. But no, I would recommend definitely painting competitions, and paint something, out of the ordinary, something you wouldn't paint.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because I guess it's to a degree kind of what we started doing, and other people who do channels started doing, putting your figures up. Mm-hmm. I know we've talked about this in the past. When you first do it, you kind of just thinking, oh my goodness, I'm just waiting for that avalanche of criticism that's going to come in. Or you look at it and you go, you know what, that just looks, to me, I can see all the imperfections. I can see the blemishes. I can see the failures.
Yep.
And in my head, I'm comparing it to every other video that I've seen of somebody painting those figures. And so it takes a lot to do it. And it's the same with going to a competition, isn't it? Or even a friendly one, just to put your model up for comparison. It is a little bit tough.
I mean, it's
worth it.
I mean, I've been posting most stuff since probably 2018 when I started the channel. But I've even said, even now, sort of 6 years on, hitting that send button or that publish button, it's still terrifying. It's still, you don't know. I mean, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, 99.9% of the community are just lovely people. They wouldn't dream of giving you a hard time because you posted something they didn't like. But no, I think again that'll be another do. Although it is kind of nerve-wracking, I would always recommend sharing your stuff. It's just good. I mean, I imagine there's quite a few people out there who paint and paint and paint, but never show it off. It reminds me of that line from Catcher in the Rye with Holden Caulfield. He says, "If I was a piano player, I'd play in the goddamn closet." And that always reminds me of posting work. I mean, it's a bit of a strange analogy, but for me, it's the same thing. It'd be like imagine painting it and not showing anybody, not posting it anywhere, not putting it on your channel, not doing anything with it,
or not gaming with it, or not showcasing it in some way. No, I agree.
It's a strange one, but again, that'll be a do. Don't be afraid, especially not in our community anyway, in the PCP Facebook group. I think the more people that share their work on there, the better. Because I always love seeing what people have been up to.
Me too.
And just the wide range of
variety is just fantastic.
Of
scary.
But especially the weird stuff.
Oh God, yeah, that is weird. Yeah, I don't know. I think the I mean, we're both saying the same thing really around just get on and do it.
To quote Ken, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I think I think it's a good thing. Definitely a good thing. Medicine time. Roger says the same thing. I noticed my flaws after hitting this. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry. After hitting the comments go through so quick. I noticed my flaws after hitting the send button. Yeah, it's the way of it. It's just. I
think it's just the way.
Yeah, it's the way it is.
So wait, let's go to painting. Do's and don'ts of painting. What would be your do?
I think again, it sort of goes back to just do it, stupid kind of thing. It's around. Don't be okay, so have in mind what your objective is, right? If you want to, if you're looking to build an army, then spending 6 months producing 3 figures ain't going to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your aim is to build an army of 5 divisions of 20 units each or whatever, you're gonna have to adjust your painting to do that. And don't just get fixated on just overdoing it. So have that goal in mind very much around what you're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. And that will change your painting style. That has to. Doesn't mean you can't improve. We all improve, even old farts like me. The more paint you get better. It's funny that the more you do things, you get better at it. Just that's the way it works, isn't it? So yeah, doing just having that in mind, though, that what you're trying to achieve. I mean, a couple of people commented quite nicely about the fact they love the fact, we're producing armies and units and things like that. And that's the style of gaming that we do.
Yeah.
So if you didn't, it wouldn't be any point. If I just produced 5 figures, it wouldn't work. Wouldn't work at all for me.
I think I've noticed on sort of that the high level sort of elite professional painters. I mean, I've seen people on Instagram, and it's posted working on the same miniature for weeks.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I mean, and seeing the progress is phenomenal. But be real and think you're not going to paint a 28mm Napoleonic army.
No.
By doing that.
No.
It's going to take you.
You probably won't even do a silver bayonet group in that time, So no. But if you're planning to enter a painting competition or what have you, or it's going in your cabinet or in your mantelpiece at home or whatever, then absolutely do whatever. Now, mine are never going to be that sort of standard, so I could never do it. But that's perfectly fine. But having that objective in mind is really important. I think it's like anything in life, right? If you know what you're trying to achieve, it makes it a lot easier to know whether you succeeded or failed.
I think it keeps you focused as well. But again, like you said, though, it will subtly change your painting style to adapt to what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're if you sit down and you think, right, I've got 250 Napoleonic soldiers to paint, which would just give me massive chest pains. I'm not going to lie.
There's a lot of drummers in there, mate. I'm just saying.
A lot of drummers. You're gonna need to cut corners. You're gonna need to come up with, ways to get those painted quickly. I think again, it's just doing that and having that kind of focus. I think for me, it would be do have some variety in your painting or on your desk, because having learned to my detriment over the years, just working on, I know this may not apply to everybody, but for me, just working on the same thing from start to finish, I can't do that anymore. I've got to jump round. I've got to, like, for example, landscapes. I went through a phase, about 6 weeks ago, of I painted about 5 or 6 bases of landscapes, but I'd reached my limit then with landscapes. I thought if I paint any more, I'll get bored. The quality will dip, and this will show when I show them off. You'll have some nice ones and some pretty crappy looking ones. So I just stopped and thought, no, I'm going to leave those for a few weeks, move on to something else. The same with Epic ACW. I've gone about 2.5 months without painting ACW for a reason, because I think for me they've got a shelf life before you start going a bit funny, and you start getting really, really bored. So again, they've come out of the stash along with landscapes, because I've not painted them for a while, so I'm going to be able to plow through those pretty quickly. So for me, I need that variety. I need that sort of smorgasbord of different projects in front of me. I mean, sometimes I have to move stuff off my desk because I do get distracted, and I just think you can get bogged down in too many things. For me, it's if I have 3 to 4 things on my desk, that keeps me sort of focused, and I'm not working on the same thing.
And I know some people say that it's fine if you've got lots of space, or if I have to, you can leave your stuff up. But actually, you can get just a little cheap tray from IKEA or wherever, other manufacturers available, and just pop it on that and slide it under your bed or something for until you're ready to bring it out and use it again. You probably find Steve's Huey
my doors
and things in there. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you can't stop it. I agree. I think variety helps everything. I think it stops that burnout. I think it allows you to get excited again about a project. And if you have to park something for a few weeks, it doesn't matter. Unless you have a competition next week, then it's a bit of a problem. But
like I say, a good example for me is the landscapes, because as bizarre as it sounds, I love painting landscapes. It's absolutely one of my favorite things to paint.
Didn't you?
because they're so mad. They're just mad colors, and they're just brilliant. And once they're all done up, they look fantastic. Could I paint them sort of 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row? No. One, I'd get bored. But two, you lose that enthusiasm, and once you lose enthusiasm, your quality dips. You don't tend to. That's when I used to batch paint like 10 bolt action figures all at once. The first sort of 4 would be okay. 7, 8, 9, and 10 used to be absolute trash, because it was just the boredom setting in and losing that sort of enthusiasm.
Yeah. Steve's got a point though. He says, totally agree. However, when the will is there, plow on.
Yeah. Once you get into that mindset,
if you're on that roller coaster or that train line, just keep going. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
Like me the night before CrackCon 2 up to midnight painting Turnip 28 figures.
Yeah,
I think I painted 2 units that night with about 24 figures. It was. But again, that's a good focus. Yeah, I love it so much. You've been doing it for 3 years. Yeah, I know. It has been a bit of a slow burn project. But again, it's the very nature of my painting landscapes, because I like to enjoy them. I couldn't speed paint or
where did that come from? I mean, that's the golden rule. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree with
two golden rules there.
I agree with exactly 50% of that statement.
I'm just going to leave that there now, just because it'll annoy Ken. Yeah, it's true. That is the gospel. Sorry. Yeah, I agree with you.
What happened to your? Were you painting Swiss?
Yeah, well, that's a good case in point. So I was doing Italian Wars figures, and I got quite a few done, but I parked it because other things caught my eye. It wasn't because I was fed up of doing it. It was more the fact that other projects I wanted to do and the guys I'm playing with wanted to do. So it kind of just got parked, but they're all up on the shelf over there. Couple of boxes full of figures already painted, and loads more ready to go. And I will get around to them. It's just, in fact, I was looking the other day and thinking, God, I really ought to. They were fun to do, because, like you say, just the sheer colourfulness of them just made me just think, wow.
We'll have to plan something for a future CrackCon. My landscape versus your Swiss. I think that'd be. Oh yeah, that'd be.
Now that would give me a challenge to get them done. I'd love it. Yeah, fantastic.
That would be really cool. I mean. I'm my plan. Rocket with everything. He's not even.
He heard you were coming, Paul. He decided he couldn't handle it.
He relocated away for 2 weeks, purely to get away from rocket taunting. Right. Have we got any news? A bit of a break.
There is a little bit, yes. I don't think I got everything. So if anybody sees anything that I didn't, for some reason, I just wasn't really focused that much this week. Right. But
so let's do the music.
Yes. Diddly doop. Blah, blah, blah. So what do I find? Here we go. 0200.
Ooh.
New partisan units available. So I believe you can only get them on the Grey for Now website, order them there. But I know a lot of people are quite excited about this. Now, I don't know whether this is brand new, but it's certainly up there on their website. It's actually a new. Well, said I don't know whether it's new, and I'm saying it's new, but a partisan bundle that you can buy. And the Jedburg, well, they're guys that basically supported the
they were sort of
partisans, weren't they?
They dropped in, yeah.
So that box set gets you all the figures, which look mighty fine. I love the guy in the bowler hat with a stem gun. That's just awesome. So yeah, if you're into 0200, which I still haven't played, but if you're into it,
I played it once with a mate the other week, and it was good. It was brutally short, because my sentries had no idea what they were doing. So the Keystone Cops. All we were missing.
They're over there. No, they're over
there. All I was missing was the Benny Hill music. It was just phenomenally bad.
Brilliant. Also, I know a lot of people, particularly Andy, got very moist about this. Horses. Ooh. So this is the latest final wave, I think, of the latest releases from Bloody Miniatures. This is the Dragoon Horseholder and Horses. Mm-hmm. So I believe the horses actually come with the stirrups and the leathers are separate. So,
wow.
Now, I'm not sure how I feel about that because, my cack-handedness of this sort of thing. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. But anyway, they look mighty fine. So, yeah.
That might be the first. I don't know whether it's just me, but I've never seen stirrups on a horse.
No. I know what you mean. Not to that degree. They are. Yeah. I mean, look, Andy's already excited. Stirrups. Yes, it's stirrups.
Wow.
Not stirrups. So yeah, that will. So basically, I think what it'll allow you to do is obviously to field the dragoons and mounted and dismounted. So that's kind of cool. I like that. I'm now thinking, do I need some dragoons in my army? Of course, the answer is
of course you do.
Of course I do. Funny enough, it looks like everything's aligned for you, Steve. Mr. Hicks is in the channel, and also talking about Landschnicks. But how do you fancy half pint?
Yes, I saw these. These are fantastic.
28 mil Hobbit Landschnicks. I mean, that's what the world's been waiting for, right?
You know what? That's got sword weirdos written all over it.
I mean, just extraordinary. So, yeah, it's his own range. Apparently, he's going to be doing through Footsore. They'll be available through I think it's via Kickstarter later on. They were originally done for a Kickstarter for Westphalia Miniatures. So he's now added some extra figures, and there's even going to be a cannon with them. I mean, a cannon. How exciting is that? But Landschnick little fellas. I mean, it's extraordinary.
I think they are definitely going to have to be procured at some point for sword weirdos. There's just so much good going on with them. Really, really.
That's awesome. We also mentioned, I mentioned Silver Bayonets a little while ago. There's a new version coming out.
Ooh.
So this is Italy one, which is due out, I think, in November, they're saying. So it's a little early to talk too much about it, but I would imagine that North Star will do their usual sort of pre-order bundle with the figures that go with it and the book. But I know Silver Bayonets has got quite a good following. So
I was going to say, how many sort of companion expansions have they got?
Is that the third or the fourth?
Because there was Italy. There's Italy. Did they do an Egypt one?
They've done an Egypt one. That was the last one. Yeah.
Ash from Guerrilla Games Miniatures wrote the one for Canada.
That's right. Yes, I've forgotten the Canada one.
3.
Yeah.
And
then...
I've still got the book. I've never read it.
No.
I read it. I read it through once. I got it the same day as Burrows and Badgers.
Oh, Paul, please do that and model it on Martin.
Yes.
Yeah, model it on Martin. That would be awesome. There you go. Oh, there you go. Well done.
Egypt so far. So
that's the fellas. So this will be the fourth one, basically.
So what? I'm gonna have to dig that book out because, like you say, it's got a strong following, and it's got a strong cult really following. Popular.
Definitely, yeah. And it did look fun, I have to say. I mean, I did buy into it, and I did paint a whole load of figures, and then in my very rare moments of thinking I must be sensible and get rid of some figures, and I actually sold them all to some chap in Europe, and he paid quite a pretty penny for them. Anyway, whatever. What else we got?
Did you keep the book, or did you sell everything?
I think I sold everything, to be honest.
Oh, right.
I think I did.
I'm going to dig mine out. It was quite a nice book as well. I like the way it was bound. It was a
really good book, and I quite like the system. It did work pretty well. It's just there's not a lot of the guys down that I play with regularly are into skirmish games, and I said you can't really play skirmish games solo very easily, or very rarely can you. So that was kind of my decision process in there. So hey, it is what it is. You can't play everything despite my best efforts. Steel Fist showed off some new German peasants firing muskets, and there's also crossbowmen there, so they look really good. I think he's on holiday at the moment, so don't try and order any, but they are lovely. He's doing some amazing stuff. I do like Steel Fist miniatures. They are really, really good. Also, Victrix announced the release of their universal carriers for their 12 mil. Aren't they? 10 mil, whatever they are. They're very small ones, but they are beautifully detailed.
They are
models.
lovely,
really
lovely.
Nice. Really, and again, that's another one that I bought into a load of, and then I just thought, this is stupid. I've got 15 mil, I've got 20 mil, and I've got 28 mil. I do not need another scale, so I sold them. And I still look at them and go, they're really nice.
They are nice.
Step away, Dom. Step away. And then finally, for what I saw, this was an interesting Kickstarter, given the fact there's a lot of interest around Hail Caesar in various types at the moment. So this is Sons of Mars, late Roman Kickstarter program. I think it goes next month, I think it is. But if you check it out, Sons of Mars, it's 28 mil. But that'll be great if you're looking to pay Hail Caesar or some of those later Dark Age kind of battle scenes. I think they're really nice looking models. So that's what I saw. I'm sure there are other things, but I'm sure anyway. Yeah.
Those Hobbit landscapes, they just
they're definitely coming your way, aren't they?
Oh yes,
the moment I saw them, I just thought that's you.
Do you know what? No, there's just certain niche figures just call out to you, and as soon as I saw them, I was like, yes, they are. They're rather nice.
Oh, now that would be a supplement, wouldn't it? Silver Bayonet Scotland. Where haggis is. I like it. Where are the haggises? Oh, anyway.
Haggis.
Haggis, there's a good thing. We're not going to get onto haggises. We've done Scotch eggs. We're not going to do that.
I think Don has said when he's over in the UK, he's going to avoid haggis and black pudding. I just don't think it's his.
Oh, I had a lovely black pudding sausage the other day. It was lovely. Ooh, very nice it was too. Anyway, there you go.
One of those things you just cannot go wrong with, a bit of black pudding.
No.
Right, let's go on to some starred comments from our viewers and just see what they've been saying. So, Glindower, serious hobby. Do keep rotating projects so the other half never knows how many you have. don't ever tell the other half how much you spent at a show.
No.
That's
definitely not.
Yeah, that's
Have a nice box down the end of your road that you can hide them in. Then when she's gone out, you can nip down and pick it up. That's what I. Oh no, I don't do that at all. Honestly. Yes.
Don't use super glue or primer spray without a respirator mask. The scientists take damage over years. I always use the respirator masks now. Amber, I know I always go back to that day when I decided to prime in my living room.
Oh,
high as a kite. I had a headache for hours. It was horrific. I also had a burning to listen to the Grateful Dead.
Love it.
Anyone ever considered painting up an ancient army as if they were all marble statues?
Ooh. Well, that'd be interesting. I did do once upon a time. Was it Saga Age of Magic army based on what was it? Jason and the Argonauts. And
right.
They had those big statues that were all sort of metallite and bronze.
Talos, yes.
That's it. And I had a couple of those in the army, which I painted up, and that was kind of almost like a statue. I quite enjoyed doing that. I can't remember where I got them from, but
that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Just ahead of you, if you live near Ely, there's a new wargaming shop called Miniature Kingdoms. Find them on
nice.
Facebook.
Good to know.
Always
Actually, that's a good point. Anybody has any ideas of any or hears about any new shops that have opened up, let us know, because I think we should try and support them as best we can.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have like a directory of
actually that'd be good.
of like local shops. I know there's sod all around here. I think
not much here either.
No, I think we had one in the marketplace, but it mainly sold trading cards and Funko Pops, which
there's one in Aldershot, which is reasonably good, but that's it.
One from Res Fem. Do what you love. Don't force your hobby. Do find a group that matches your interest. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good when painting. Absolutely spot on, Sven. Don't force your hobby is. It's just such a great phrase. It is a hobby. It's not a job. It should never be a chore. And forcing yourself to, unless you've got crack on the next day, and you need those 12 units painted for when the store opens the following morning. Absolutely, but no, I think forcing it is that it definitely does more harm than good.
Agreed.
So what you do is you'll resent what you're painting,
and keep your work life, keep your play life balance, right? So don't ignore your family and friends for doing a hobby. At the end of the day, that's more important, right?
Yeah.
Step away occasionally.
Matt, wash plastic figures before undercoating. Do you know what? I never do that.
I never do either.
Never do. I know you're supposed to. It's sometimes you can still have the release agent on it. But yeah, I never thought of that.
I genuinely have never done it with plastics, and the only time I forget to do it and I regret it is when it's resin, 3D prints, and things like that. Sometimes you can have a bit of a problem with that.
Yeah, I always wash. Whether I've printed it myself, but you need to wash it, or if I buy resin figures, they always get a nice warm soapy bath. He says, "Relax." I'm gonna get me a T-shirt made.
We need a T-shirt with that on. We really do. Yeah,
that's gonna be brilliant.
James says there's no release agent on.
Right.
I didn't think there was either. So okay.
Wonder what it is.
But then Andy, old school says must wash plastic, not metal. I don't know. Well, I painted thousands and thousands of figures. I've never washed any plastic figures.
I might start doing that. Some sage words from Matt. Yeah. Don't just do what everyone on the PCP does. I failed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, good plan.
I know people have said, you come here for a bit of inspiration, but it also, it leads you down some pretty slippery rabbit holes.
Some very dodgy things happen on here.
This is just the best advice anyone can give tonight. Don't bring your army to a game in a sandwich bag.
Was that from the real Steve?
No, it's from Lionheart. Just the thought of seeing someone plopping a bag of orcs onto the table. I'd have had to have left. I couldn't have sat opposite that. John, certainly dive straight in, but don't let your partner see the number of packages you're receiving.
True. I've said many times, the trouble is Elaine knows the postman really well now because of the number of packages, and he really talks. He says exactly what there is. It's like, God's sake,
there's no escaping.
No,
he should be like the last line of defense. He'd be like a firewall.
He should be. I'm gonna have a word with his bosses. He's a snitch, and it's not fair.
Is Paul talking about your Bruce is an Island project? A great project from Dom, and the battle reports are fantastic. It's great because there's just so much on the table all at once. There's masses and masses of them.
They're good fun, I have to say. I've really enjoyed that. I think he suggested that I should do a little campaign, and I really should. I'm going to try and work that out at some point.
So again, wise words from Dom. Buy both armies for a conflict that fascinates you. Read books. Make the units armies look the way you want. Find adapt rules to suit you. Find, of course, buy 28 mil.
Yeah.
More wise words then.
Very wise.
Andrew had the War Machine Colossal sitting on his paint shelf, prime for a year and a half because I was into. Yes, intimidation is a thing. Yeah. I mean, for me, it was the Huey that intimidated the hell out of me. No matter how much I wanted to work on it, I just couldn't. And I did. I mean, it wasn't like it was it was a lovely model with loads of options, but I don't know whether it was the size or just something about it. Just really, really did intimidate me. But I got it finished. More from Matt. Do one project at a time. Only buy one box of minis before you buy another.
No,
doesn't
work. I've tried that.
I'm pretty sure Matt's being a bit facetious there. So speaketh the master. Do batch paint.
There we go. Yeah.
Ben, you take batch painting to an entirely different level of batch painting, though. Especially when it comes to batch painting individual shields.
The entire units of Hastings in a batch. That's kind of taking it a little bit far, but there you go.
Going on from Dave, painting. Don't forget the 3-foot rule. Absolutely.
Damn right.
Absolutely. And do you know what? Since I've been painting these over the past couple of days, back to these epic ACW, and I'm constantly having to tell myself, they're small, they're 3 feet away, and you're not going to see some dude's face in the middle of a unit.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. But it's something I have to constantly tell myself. But yeah, 3-foot rule most definitely applies.
It's funny. I watched a video by a painter that you watched a fair bit. Was it Peachy? And I've never really watched much of his stuff before, but he was painting up some of the Hell Caesar stuff, and I was so heartened by the fact he was even more slapdash than I am, and I thought, good art, that's brilliant. I'm really pleased with that, because it was like, and he kept saying the same thing. It's like, well, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it.
You're not. I think the first time I painted them, I think that was my problem, was that I was painting too many, and I was trying to make each one perfect, and that killed it for me. Going back,
I think within that you go paint scale appropriate. I think that's the other thing. I mean, don't try and paint your 6 mils or your 5 mils or your whatever mils the same way as you do your 48 mils or your 54 mils. You got to paint the way that they are. Otherwise,
I keep telling myself, like, at some point these are going to be finished, and they're going to be on a base. It's going to be part of a unit. It's going to be part of a bigger army.
Yep.
No one's going to see their shoes. No one's going to see if you've not painted that chap's beard.
Nope.
It's that mantra constantly to tell myself, no one's going to see. It's the overall look you're going for.
Yeah.
Right. Muff Mandy, good on painting much. Martin, Steve, Dom, Ken, Alex, etc. to paint armies. Don't watch Golden Demon winners. That's good advice. Yeah, you'll learn how to paint, individual figures well, but painting those 250 French Napoleonics, no, it's not going to it's not going to work. None from Matt. Do make progress. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is a big motivator. If you can see, in fact, on that video I made about paint and burnout, Jack Sarge left a really, really good comment. In that we're in this hobby, we're lucky that when we finish what we're doing, there's something physical and tangible at the end of it that we can see as it's completed. It's done. Yep. It's in front of us. We can touch it. We can see it. I think we're quite lucky in that regard, and that there is. I know they talk about the ugly phase. Which is, it's not nice when you're at the ugly phase of a project, and you need to get over that. But it's good that you've got once it's done, you sit down, you can see a unit or see a tank, something fully painted. That's definitely inspiration. Again, it's progress as well. It inspires progress.
I think that ugly phase is something that particularly newer painters struggle with the most, isn't it? It's you kind of imagine when you even I know you do, and I certainly do, when I'm in the middle of painting figures, you look at them, you think, geez, that looks an absolute botch. And I know, but it's going to come together. Yeah. And it does eventually. But you just got to keep going with the process.
For me, the ugly phase of painting these epic ACW is when there's no wash on them. They're block painted. They're not even neatly block painted. They've got paint on them. Then you put that wash over them, and that the magic happens because all your mistakes just disappear. So I think that I think having getting over that, they look like utter arse at the moment. But once I apply that wash, they are gonna look better.
Even that though, sometimes I remember when I first started to use washes properly, or I think it was dips probably. It was still quite a scary process. You painted this figure up, and you think, I'm going to then cover it in something, really?
That's why I really want to try enamel oils as like a grim dark thing. I think what you do is you put it on, let it dry a bit, and then you get like an old rag or a Q-tip, and you just remove the excess, and it leaves that really grimy, grim, dark look. The thought of just splashing enamel oils all over painted miniatures that gives me the keepies. Yeah, good advice from Roger. A bit every day, yes.
Yeah.
Where I can, I mean, sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I do about 3 hours a night. Longer at the weekend if I'm not doing anything, but even just half an hour, at one point, a bit every day certainly. It adds up as well. It really does add up.
Yeah, definitely, I'd agree with that. And I think even then, I can't remember who it was I was having a conversation with, and he was bemoaning the fact that he, had to keep clearing away his paints and get them back out. And I said, well, just buy a tray and stick it all on the tray. And then when you're finished at the end of the night, you can pack it all away and just lift the tray off, stick it somewhere convenient. And then the next day when you come back and you've got an hour, you just bring it back out again. Saves all the time again. And
I think sometimes doing that, you can probably get a lot more done, because if you say to yourself, right, I've got 45 minutes tonight, you're really going to use those 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not like, if I've got 3.5 hours, I'm going to be dicking around looking at, YouTube. I'm not going to be painting for 3 hours. I'm going to be doing other stuff. But if you've got that focused time, you can really, really use that time.
Agreed.
Benjamin, give speed paints or contrast paints a chance if you're a new painter.
Agreed.
You'll get a result you are satisfied with somewhat easily and not give up. Later learn other painting skills and expect. Yes, absolutely.
Goes along with that probably is don't listen to what all these other people say about things. I mean, there's some absolute zealots about, loving speed painting. And there's the opposite lot that absolutely detest everything to do with speed painting. Give it a go. See whether you like it. Try it.
Don't do it. Don't search for slap chop neither. It just sounds like a very niche magazine. Red Sven, buy armies as a whole, inspirational. Dom, everyone could be an inspiration for different things. Yes.
Thank you.
Your armies are inspirational. The sheer amount you get through, the quality, and just how they look all mashed up on the tabletop.
But that's exactly what we're saying, right? So, from 3 foot away, massed units, they look good. Pretty much whatever the job you've done on painting them, you could make an absolute fist of them. But when they're massed up together, they look good. I just defy anybody to, until you zoom in or you pick up the figure and you really look at them and you go, oh, blimey, I'm not sure about that. I didn't know they had 3 eyes on those figures and he looks like Quasimodo. But it doesn't matter. En masse, they look impressive, particularly if you're doing big battles, right?
I think, again, I may not game Napoleonics, but I always say I love the look of a Napoleonic battle. 28 mil on the table.
Agreed.
Flags, banners, big.
It's hard to think of much better.
Yeah, big clumping units. It looks good. I mean, are they going to all be 100% perfect golden demon winning? No, they're not. They're not. But you don't need, like I said, it's the mass look that you're going for. That for me, that's the selling point of any game like that. So when me and Martin did the one the other week about what scale for what game.
Yep.
And I was surprised at how many people went for 28 mil for most of the most of the systems. But it is inspirational. The one from Benjamin. It's a war game, not a war simulation. Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's I think it's a very important point but again, we talk about this around this topic for years on this stream, but it's a game at the end of the day. You're playing with toy soldiers. You're not refighting a real game, real battle.
Do you know what? That line, we're playing with toy soldiers. You could apply it to so many times. People, to say something stupid or at the end of the day, we're playing with toy soldiers, and that should be the end of the conversation, right?
Yeah,
that's the Chewbacca defense from South Park. It really is. Mandy, an army on the table is worth 2 in the box.
Yeah.
Well,
damn right. Damn right.
I'm not looking at my stash at this point either.
It's not a stash. It's an opportunity pile.
Well, my opportunity pile fell on me the other day. I dropped something, and as I was scrabbling around, I got the in fact, what box is it? It's the Hit the Beach box by Flames of War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It hit the beach, hit my head. It flew off, cracked me in the back of the head. But I shouldn't be scrabbling around on the floor looking for things though.
It's dangerous in your flat, isn't it? Blimey.
It is. Also, for Pete, I find inspiration staying Dom's completed units because they are done, ready for the table. I'm prioritizing done. Yeah, absolutely prioritize done.
Do you know what? If there's one thing, I think you'd probably say the same, Steve, but put words in your mouth. But if there's one thing I could say, that if I finished the channel and did nothing anymore, didn't do any streams anymore, people took one thing away from it. It's just getting units on the table and prioritizing them to actually play. That's what they're for, right?
Yeah.
Is to play games with them. So if they're sitting in a box, they're not doing it.
And knowing when they're done. There's that point where you think it's done. Don't say, oh, I'll keep adding to it. I'll keep adding. No, done. It's just done. Just walk away. It's now done. And I mean, I say that, but with my ball taxing armies, I'm constantly going back and fixing a base. So I don't like the way the skin looks on that one. So,
but that's another good do, isn't it? Right? Don't be satisfied if you're. If you've done a unit and you're an army or whatever, groups of figures, and you think that's great, I'm happy with it. But later on, you think, you know what, I could just improve them with a little bit of this, or you know what, I'm not quite happy with how that came out. Don't be afraid to go back and have another go at them. I wouldn't necessarily suggest you need to strip them all clean again and start again, but unless you're in a complete masochist. You can add on a little bit of extra detail around it, improve the basing, whatever it may be.
Oh, I've done that so many times. If I look at some of the things I don't. I mean, look, those Rubicon the USMC, I completely rebased those because I didn't like the previous bases. I wasn't afraid of ripping them off the cork bases.
Red Sven's pleased that it wasn't.
Oh God, yeah,
box that fell on you. There wouldn't be a ST anymore.
No, I'd have ended up with a serious concussion. I need to fix that. Honestly, it's like a disaster waiting to happen down there. It really is. This is a nice one from Trevor. Watch this podcast. Best advice for a newbie to historical like me. Brilliant. Don't end up buying loads of stuff for multiple projects. Best of luck with the second one, Trevor.
Yeah, that's not going to work around here, I'm afraid. Good try.
That's going to be an infinitely challenging task for you there, mate. But no, that's nice. It's nice, that the advice we give. We're not hammering it home with a baseball bat. We're just giving our honest opinions of the hobby.
And I have to say that's one thing. What I genuinely love about the community we have and the people who come on the stream and watch what we're doing. Much as I love all our regulars and people who chat, talk all the time on various things, it's those newer people who have just, curious or interested in what's going on, or just started doing something and want a little bit of help with it, or just a bit of inspiration. That excites me a lot. I love all that. When you see people on the Facebook page just sort of showing off their first painted miniature.
Oh yes,
it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. So yeah.
Again, and it's not easy doing that. It's not easy posting your first.
No, it's not. Absolutely not.
So doing that, big thanks for everyone that does that. But yeah, that's awesome. Cheers, Trevor. There's another one from Red Sven. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't ask for. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I don't mind people critiquing my work to a degree. I can mention earlier, be nice about it. Don't be a cretin. You don't have to be. You don't have to flex your historical muscles. Just if you want to impart your advice, do it in a nice, pleasant way.
It's how it's done most of the time.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I mean, we all want to learn, and if we've made a complete howler with our figure, it is nice to know. But it's the way it's done, I think, is the thing. I'm always grateful if someone points out, I take those shield transfers we were talking about earlier. I think I put a unit up, and I don't pretend to be an expert on particularly any historical period at all. But I used some of those transfers, and someone quietly pointed out that actually medieval shield transfers, or not shield, the heraldry, they pointed one direction. So I think it went to the left Yeah, so I went to the left, or I forget which one. See, I can't even remember. But whichever it was, I'd mixed mine up. So because those, as you said, those transfers are good for historical and non-historical, there's a real mixed bag in there. So you have to be careful what you're using. So I used a mixed bag, and actually in heraldry they pointed one direction or the other, and I'd mixed them all up. So, and someone kindly pointed out, so next time I did use them, I made sure that for historicals I went for the ones that pointed the right direction.
Exactly. And what they didn't say was they're on the wrong way, so what I'd recommend you do is burn them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you need, there's a guy coming around with a stake, and he's going to hammer you to the ground with it, and then burn everything you own because of it. So no,
there's a unique place reserved for you in War Games Hell, and you're going there for putting your decals on the wrong way. No, it's just, if people are going to give advice, it's
useful to know that stuff, because we're not all experts on these things. Apart from Martin, who knows everything about.
This is a good one from Krakenazy. For beginners, not to take everything some YouTubers say as gospel.
True.
So, only beginners who have seen someone on YouTube say they must paint non-metallic metals, don't use washes and so on. Absolutely. If it works for you, it works for you. If I was to do a live stream of me painting, people would be horrified because I'm not conventional. It's just not. It'd be a video nasty.
Those magic hands do some weird things.
Magic hands. Seeing me hand prime figures in brownie green paint. That's what I do. It's just some things, and that is just something I've discovered. It's just the way I work. It's just I use different bits and pieces from here and there.
I mean, there are some really weird videos out there that talk about some really odd shit. I mean, just remember those things there. Just remember, base all your vehicles and varnish everything. The world will be fine. The world will be fine.
And breathe again. But no, it is true. You do find your own way, of your own techniques, your own way of working.
You do.
I mean, the fact that I use kitty litter on bases wasn't something
I feel we need another challenge with that for Christmas. You remember that one we did where you had to use couscous?
You use couscous.
I use couscous.
Yeah, you use couscous. Yeah.
You should try that again. That was quite funny.
But yeah, it's just things like that. I mean, who'd have thought you could use kitty litter as basing? Well, I had a go and it worked out quite well.
Yeah.
And I think it's taking bits and pieces. If you want to watch tutorials and things like that, knock yourself out. But take, like Dom said earlier, take bits from them.
It's true. He does. He has a very lucrative hand modeling career. Actually, you would have seen it in many magazines.
I'm sure I'm not the only one going to be off top. But no, before I make a YouTube video, I go and scrub my hands relentlessly.
I don't.
And make sure they're not grim. I don't know. It's just something I've always done. But yeah,
I'm now 2 bottles into my medicine, so I will recount a story. There used to be, when I used to go to London on commute, there used to be a girl that I got on the train opposite me, and she had the most extraordinarily beautiful hands. And I don't know why. When if anybody ever commuted, you always used to get to you'd sit in the same place. It was just one of those weird things that happened on British commuter trains. So I'd always sit opposite this girl. She wasn't very attractive. She wasn't particularly, spectacular. She was a nice girl, but her hands were just the most extraordinary, beautiful things I've ever seen. Now, I've never had a thing about hands at all. There you go. 2 bottles of medicine in. I'm going to tell you that kind of story.
And now my channel's probably get taken off YouTube for promoting hand-related weirdness. Cheers, Dom.
I did ask her what, and she did say she did do some hand modeling. So
right,
it is related.
No, I just don't like seeing grim hands on YouTube videos. Nick Games, when I first started to paint, I had no idea what I was doing. Searched on YouTube, Google, and found this great community. Fantastic. Again, it's positive to hearing stories like that of people who found.
We try and do.
What we try and do. Yeah. There we go. Carl's obviously attended your meeting, Dom.
Well done, Carl. Good man.
Varnish everything.
Good man.
This is what, old school FFP. Digital cameras and large monitors are unforgiving. My perfectly painted miniatures like randomly smeared disasters when. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's well, especially on nowadays when you can zoom in on smartphones. you can see the upper lip on a 15mm figure, and you think, that doesn't look very good, does it?
I don't know about you, Steve. I'm always terrified when people say they're watching this on the large screen in the living room with a family watching.
Oh,
I'm
God,
thinking,
no,
geez, God, no, please don't.
You don't want to see my figures on like a 72-inch high definition TV.
No.
Not like a painter using my feet. Don't dip your brush in your tea or coffee. Too late. Already done that. Yep. Try techniques. If it works out, you've got a new way of doing something. If it doesn't, just paint over it.
Yep.
It can always be fixed, or you can always use them for turnip 28.
True.
Do you guys paint everything in small batches or hit everything with each color like an assembly line? Oh, interesting.
Good question.
If I batch paint, I stick to 5. 5 is my limit when I'm batch painting. Don, what's your limit?
I tend to do so. If I'm doing a 24-man battalion of infantry, for instance, I'll do 12 at a time, and I will batch paint in that 12. But it does depend on the period and what I'm going to do. But if they're all roughly the same kind of, like Napoleonics, they're all going to be roughly the same kind of colours. So I will batch in 12s, pretty much.
If you want to see the extreme end of the spectrum, check out Steve at Basement 1908. Whose batch painting is in triple figures.
That man, I mean, there's 2 things about Steve. I absolutely do. Well, it's 3 things I love about Steve. I mean, he's a great human being.
Yeah, he's just a top chap.
Geez, I mean, he's only been in the hobby for a few years, and that is a definition of throwing yourself into the hobby. If you could do it, I know we on this side of the pond take the mickey out of our colonial colleagues over there about how they love it all bigger and better than everyone else. Now, Steve loves it all bigger and better.
Yes.
I mean, if skirmish game, 5,000 figures aside, that's his skirmish game, and he's just a madman.
It
helps. Love his enthusiasm.
Steve's table's bigger than my flat. That way, and that's why he paints so much. He likes to see it filled. One from Matt: make sure you clean the figure properly. Wash the figure, undercoat the figure. Yeah,
good.
Simple advice.
Good advice. Oh my God. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. What was that? Oh no.
Now that is actually terrifying, Joseph. Please don't do that. Please don't.
Pretty terrifying.
Yeah, sorry.
From Dave. You can pay for display, but there's no way to get thousands on the table. Yeah,
no, true.
It's true.
Again, it's about what you use them for, right? If you're looking to play a game with them, then if you're looking to do an art collection or a cabinet collection or enter a competition, then yeah, go for it. Spend 6 months on a figure.
I'd refer you back to Sir Ken of Yorkshire. Just do it. Just do it. Paul, painting do faces, bases, and flags. Yes.
Agreed.
Agree with that. One from Andy. Do prime, do base coats, do wash, do varnish. Do not try to lose heart before the wash. Yes. That's what I was saying. KCW. There's nothing worse than seeing those in horribly rushed batch painted colours, and the faces are on the chests, and their webbing is all over the place. Yeah. Once you get to the wash, it's gravy after that. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
One from John. Yes, the ugly stage is real, but once you get over that, you'll see the results. Yeah,
definitely true.
Definitely have confidence in the process. One from Matt. Remember, paint covers paint, or mistakes are reversible.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually, Matt. I think often newbies forget that. Some of the more experienced painters forget that too, that actually you just paint over it.
Yeah. All mistakes are reversible, except listening to the Smiths.
Sorry, I've just got to jump in on because Steve just put this. Don't worry, gents.
That's much better. Cheers.
That's
Steve.
Much better. I feel much happier. Thanks, Steve.
I feel much more safe for myself. One from Roger. Do you do several projects at the same time? Allow time. Yeah, absolutely. I think that for me is something I've had to teach myself over sort of the past 4 or 5 years, because I used to get a bolt action box. I'd be like, right, I'm going to paint this.
Yeah.
And fast forward now, I'm painting landscapes and all kinds of other oddness.
It's almost like doing homework that way. I think
it is.
You just force yourself, and that's not going to get a good result. I honestly believe that. Now, as somebody said earlier, if you're on a roll, knock yourself out. Keep going.
If you're in the zone, as the cool kids say, if you're in the zone while painting, you might as well take advantage of it, because you never know when the next burnout's coming.
Agreed.
So you might as well stick with the zone. Well, from Joseph, try a new way to paint terrain. Just finished and pleased. Don't be afraid to try a little different way once in a while. Yep.
Agreed.
I think again, you owe it to yourself to try new things, hobby wise.
I think also train's a good way of breaking out what you're doing as well. If you've got a bit of time and you're just sort of not sure what to do next, or you're not that keen on anything you've got on your ongoing projects, pick up a bit of terrain, do that.
Well, look at last year when I was painting that terrain for CrackCon. I thought it was going to
that was magnificent.
I thought I was going to despise that, and I enjoyed every second of working on it. God, I started off just painting modular scenery to scratch building doctors' surgeries. It was just a mad time. Painted 20 to 40 figures at a time, assembly line style, but I need occasional break to paint one individual. Yes, I think we all have that treat, don't we? So if I'm doing bolt action, my treat is a tank at the end of it. So if I'm painting an infantry section of 10, once they're done, because I find them quite dull, I've got a nice vehicle or tank or artillery piece waiting for me at the end of it. And I think that's the extra motivation I need to get those finished. I remember I was talking to Sean at CrackCon. I think we were in that pub, the Peacock. And we got to talking about batch painting, and I said, I batch paint between 5 and 10, and he was like, well, yeah, the smallest I'll batch paint's 45. I was like,
he is a madman though.
But you're Sean. I can this makes more sense when it's you. If you don't paint things last minute for CrackCon, you're not doing it right. Absolutely. Don't become a zealot for
competition or event.
Don't become a zealot for one scale over others. Yeah. I just appreciate that other people work on different things. I mean, I'm working on so many different scales at the moment. I wouldn't be like a frothing zealot, waving this scale only banner. I just jumped ahead. I'd
just like to say, Paul, I'm not getting more and more pissed. I'm getting pissed. No, I'm not getting pissed at all. I didn't say 2 bottles.
I'm just sticking with Council Pop.
I mean, they are 5.4%, but even so, I can take more than 2 of them. Honest.
Yes. Never stop encouraging newbies or curious. No unsolicited opinions, and remind them they are models. However they
Bingo.
Yes. Spot
Star
on.
Comment there. Well done.
Yeah. Well done. That is absolutely. We're playing toy soldiers. Yeah.
T-shirt, 2 T-shirt designs out of this stream. I love it.
I think the first one reminds me, because I grew up in the day of Frankie Goes to Hollywood, so I remember everyone where I lived, everyone had those T-shirts on. So I thought I'd love to see my phrase. You posted a video and see the massive mold line you've missed.
Yeah, we've all done that one.
I remember him saying, he paints on the sofa lying down on his side.
Oh, that is weird. How do you do that?
I think you mentioned that it was it due to a back injury, and you just
you're absolutely
and it just kind of stuck. That's a bizarre way, though.
That is odd. I guess you get what you do the way that gets it done, right?
Don't accidentally lick brush after using enamel water. Nah.
Very good tip, that one.
And what you don't want to do is wash your mouse out with Carling. It just makes it entirely worse. Dom will attest to this, having seen Dom drink Carling at the.
Oh, God, that was Nat's piss. That was terrible.
No such thing as too many flags. Yeah,
flags are brilliant.
This is a good one from Matt. Write down your paint scheme colours. Yeah, do you know what? Mine's in my phone. I've got a note section on my phone. Every time I have a new recipe for something, I write it down because I'll forget. And there's nothing worse than coming back to something 6 months later and thinking, how the bloody hell did I paint these originally?
I am terrible at this. I'm absolutely shocking. And it's great when I'm on a roll through a project. Even if it's one that I'm chopping and changing, doing other things, because what I tend to do is keep the paints that I'm using in a pot. plastic tray or whatever, and keep them together. But once there's been like months between that particular project work, I'll put them back in the cases and I'll forget about them or in the shelves or what have you. And then I come back to it and think, oh shit, what did I do? And I actually sometimes go back and look at the videos just to find out what if I mentioned it.
I've done that before. I've watched my own videos to find out how I paint something. A bit near the knuckle there, Rogue Trooper.
I think yellow card coming for that one.
That never happened. No, but despite what anyone says and anyone who's there that saw it happen, it
might be photographic evidence, but
bollocks. I'm going on 1984 here. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. The last one for James: do whatever you want. It's a hobby. Do it your way. Play when you like, with what you like. And his second to last one: don't tell us they're doing it wrong. Just because you don't like some rules of scale period of weird World War One doesn't mean others can't. No,
agreed. Absolutely. And we'll be as bad as everyone else on this. We'll talk about things we love and dislike and what have you. Apart from SBQR, which is absolute squash. But at the end of the day, you pay the money, you take your choice, right?
You do.
It's up to you.
At the end of the day, it's your money. It's your hard-earned money you spend. If you want to go and buy Landscnets or nuns with guns, or just knock yourself out. Don't buy Prosecco.
Or listen to the Smiths.
Or combine the two. Because that all hope abandon ye who enter here. Right, let's have a look at. Oh, crikey, we're up 4 minutes left.
Oh my goodness! Quickly, show some of the work that people have been doing.
Yes, so hopefully these are all uploaded. Right, this one is a great idea from Dalibor, right? Xenos Rampant using Mech Commander figures.
Well, that's interesting.
That is a combination I think I'd like to try.
I'm going to have to try this Xeno Rampant because everyone keeps saying how good it is.
I've not played it yet, but I've seen plenty of battle reports. When the Joy of Wargaming went through a phase of doing Xenos Rampant battle reports, like I think it's 15 mil. Mm-hmm. Brilliant game, really enjoyable.
Nice.
So Gary, this is a game that he put on. He was doing a bit of solo gaming, and here's some Romans. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
They're nice. They are really nice. What I love, the dynamics in those bases.
Yes. And I also love the irregularity of the shields.
Yes. It really
you normally see Roman legions. They're sort of all lined up. They look perfect. They look like they just walked out. Those buggers, they look like proper veterans. They're going to kick you in the shins.
They are running towards you.
Somewhere else, probably.
Screaming obscenities about how they're about to ruin your day.
Yeah.
I just think it's really unique the way they're done.
Yeah, I love that.
Brilliant.
Really good.
Andrew has been doing some, speaking of Silver Bayonet.
Nice.
This is a Duchy of Warsaw chap for Silver Bayonet.
I was about to be very nerdy on that and say I think that looks like a Duchy of Warsaw, and it is. Very good.
I didn't know that.
It's the yellow bib thing.
Right. I had to look up the description. I knew the Voltigeurs, didn't know this chap though.
Very nice.
Now I actually picked this up because this is for the OPC. I'm going to show it anyway because I like it so much. From Gaza.
Oh my goodness! What the heck is that?
It's called a Tyrannofax.
I thought that was something from the bottom of an aquarium. That is extraordinary. Has he painted that?
Yes.
Wow.
It's rather nice. I love the contrast between sort of the armor and the skin against that weapon. It just looks really nice.
Smoke.
But yeah, you're going to see that Quickstein not getting paid for overtime. I'm sure I can go a couple of minutes over. No, it looks really good. I really like these.
No idea what it is, but I love it.
No, I've got no idea what it is either. I've seen a lot of people painting these War Games Atlantic Foot Knights, and these are from Juris. Look at those.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, I like them.
I just love the symbols, the heraldry that tie them all together.
And he's even done them on the fronts of their tunics as well. Oh, yeah,
they're just really, really nice.
Yeah, they are such good models.
They are. I'd recommend picking up, even if you're not intending to use them, just pick them up to paint for the joy of painting.
Just do them. Yeah, I would agree. I don't often say that about any figures, but yeah, they're even easy to put together.
Oh God, yeah. Well, again, when I did the video, not one single bit of modelling putty or green stuff required. It went together perfectly. Mark has been making his first foray into Wars of the Roses.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Now, did he say these were Yorkists?
We haven't got our local nerd here, so I don't know. But they look good.
Just because you're here, Dom, I'll say they're Yorkist thugs.
Okay. I'll agree. He won't be watching anyway. He's having fun on holiday.
Someone from Martin. It's more silver bayonet.
Oh, yeah.
This is a rifleman.
Love it.
That's lovely.
They are such nice figures.
Yeah.
This is terrible. I'm wanting to buy them again. I better have some more medicine, then I'll stop, obviously.
Yeah, by midnight, they've bought 12 more starter boxes. That is lovely. I really like that. It's a really nice character piece as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even down to the patch on his knee. Right, the next one is just madness. This is Nick's Prussian Landwehr.
What the bejesus? What? How thing? How? Flipping Nick.
I think they're 6 mil, aren't they?
They're either that or the epics. I'm not quite sure, but they are.
If they're epics, sir, I doff my hat to you because.
Oh my lordy!
There's just so much there.
I mean,
yeah,
love it.
Just oh god.
I mean, Andrew's just. Sorry, Andrew. James just wet his pants. I mean, later. I mean, he says they're epics. There you go.
Are they?
I don't know. I mean, they're in strips, which is usually a sure sign.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think they might be. I think it's just the angle.
Louis got the most eloquent comment I've seen. So
bloody yeah, that's
absolutely.
The only thing that makes me think is that it's the banners arm in the middle, like they would be with the epic range.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Either way, Nick, fantastic.
I don't care. They're amazing.
Work. It's a scale for you, Dom. Some 10 mil Jag Panthers by Robin.
Oh, Robin, behave. He paints so nicely, doesn't he?
And they're
don't tell him because he's probably listening, but they are awesome.
And they're based as well.
Yeah, proper job. And they're probably varnished as well.
Yeah.
Because we know that's the most important thing. What can I say?
You wouldn't think they were 10 mil, would you? You really wouldn't think they were 10 mil.
Nope.
Okay, on tonight's second bout of completeness of insanity. Steve, basement 19.
Madman. I mean,
Steve, what you doing, man?
I mean, he's just making us all look bad, frankly.
No, there's more cavalry on that table than I've painted in my entire life.
The thing is, he painted them in like 3 days or something. It's like, what the heck?
It must just be coffee. Are you fueled by coffee?
I don't know what he's fueled by, but I want some of it. I mean, my medicine's wearing off, but that is. I mean, look at that.
That's just a lot.
Doff my cat to him.
They're going to look great on mass on the tabletop, though.
Yep.
And last but not least is Warren with some weird shit. Yeah.
It wouldn't be. Oh,
what the heck is that? It's an old Games Workshop model, but he's using it for 15 mil. So like a monstrous thing at 15 mil. It's like some kind of palanquin.
I was wondering if I should avert my eyes on that one. Wow.
But
it's extraordinary.
It is. I looked at how old it actually is. But that's some supreme weirdness there, Warren. Congratulations on the weirdest thing posted tonight, apart from Dom's hand story, obviously.
I feel I may have given too much of myself at that one, but there you go.
Although we don't want to revisit that one. Right, we're now officially into overtime. It's 10:05.
Oh my god!
And it's still unseasonably, disgustingly warm here.
He needs coffee at this point.
I actually do need a cup of coffee.
He melts down otherwise completely.
I know.
Brilliant. Like a button on the back of his head.
Thanks everybody for attending the stream tonight. Some great comments from people, the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Some great advice as well, especially for people new to the hobby, which I think is really important. I think
absolutely.
You know, we don't want to see sort of gatekeeping, and I certainly don't want to see gatekeeping in the hobby anyway. Especially when it comes to modeling or collecting or just doing anything. None of that at all. Right. Big thank. I don't think I've said it. Big thank you to everyone that's watching this on the catch up.
Oh, he got it in there. It's 5 minutes late, but he's got it
5
in there.
minutes late. And don't forget, we are sponsored by Boards and Swords Hobbies.
We are indeed.
Use the code PCP5 when you're checking out on the web store.
Awesome.
To get 5% off your already discounted purchase. Where are we next week?
I think we're back on my channel, but we'll confirm that in the Facebook page.
Yes.
Because I'm not entirely sure we decided 100%.
No,
but I think we're back on mine. But Martin should be back.
Yeah.
From his holidays. He'll probably have, a British tan, so it probably means he's pasty as hell and probably got alcoholic poisoning.
I once burnt my feet and legs in Cornwall. It was horrific. I put because I'm quite, as you can tell, I'm quite pale, and I put suntan lotion everywhere apart from my knees downwards. And the following day, it was horrific. And we were on a day trip to Penzance, and as I went to get some relief cream for my legs, some woman banged into me with a pram and left 2 white lines across my legs.
Shoot!
I became like a local celebrity at the local bar, checking my legs every night. But I digress.
Yeah, whatever. He won't have burnt because he would have been in the bar all the time.
Exactly.
Well, he was painting with his kids, so
yes, I saw that. Very wholesome. Right, so I think we'll be back on Dom's channel next week.
Probably on mine. If not, we'll let you know.
It will be confirmed in the Facebook group, so keep a look there. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, womble along, answer the questions 3.
And if you sub to all of us, then it doesn't really matter because you get notification anyway.
Yes, exactly. Right, enjoy the rest of your hobby week wherever you are. I hope the weather isn't as brutal for you as it is here, and we shall see you all next week. Take care, everybody.
Have a good week. Bye.